Oh, God. Oh, no. No. All right. Well, here we go. It is the Seth Justice Show. Welcome in. How we doing? How we living? Don't forget, like, subscribe, follow, all that fun stuff at Justice_Radio on Instagram and TikTok, and the Seth Justice Show on YouTube and Spotify. So, wild week. Mainly in the drama field of things. I mean, we learned something about Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber. We're going to get to that in just a second. We also found the new Skims deal. We'll get to that a little bit later. And, yeah, it's just weird. Lots of things going on. And I don't even know where to start. Don't even know. I mean, the government shutdown is going on right now, which is kind of weird, but I am very, very proud of the radio station I work for, Albany Broadcasting. We went and dropped off some food for the TSA workers and all the federal employees at Albany Airport. So we were able to do that for them, especially since, there may be moments here coming up soon where they're not going to be, shown the same kind of support. And I'm not, again, you know me, I'm not a political kind of guy, and starting off like this may not be good, but here's the thing. We got to do right by people, and I think if you try and do good things, then those people are going to be happy, and I think that's all that matters, But I don't know. I think all of this, and it's really funny because I'm going to tie this back in actually to something else, but so my coworkers and I, Pete and Jackie, we're a playful bunch. We are. And we instigate. It's almost like having brothers and sisters. And we instigate each other. We, flip each other off every once in a while. We gaslight each other and everything like that. And that's fine because we're doing it in a playful manner and everything like that. And I think that's really cool. And it's really fun. And it's like having, brothers and sisters. It's like when you do that with your siblings or with your friends. And, you're just messing around with one another. And I think in the terms of government and politicians right now, they're kind of, they found a way to do that in a mean way. Because whether you're on the right or left doesn't really matter. This government shutdown that's going on right now has a lot of people up in arms, but also a lot of people saying, I'm just done. I just don't care. Like, I've seen more people say, I don't care, than I've seen people just get so upset and mad. And maybe that's because of my algorithm. I don't know. But it's annoying that we have to deal with people being so divisive, and when it comes to human life, we don't all do what's for the common good. We just gaslight and do it in a mean way. And not like how you do it with your friends and how I just explained with, my coworkers and everything like that. But this is in a negative way. So essentially what I just did is laid out two things that are relatively the same in the essence of it, except done in two different ways. So here's the thing. We can do those things. We can gaslight people all we want. It's all in how you do it. And whether you're on the right, left, or somewhere in the center, like it just all depends on how you do things. But that doesn't mean it's right, and it depends on the situation. You're not going to do that stuff when you are in the moment, right? And you are having a very real moment, whether it's like, say, a doctor giving you a diagnosis that you don't want to hear or you didn't foresee, and the reason why you're sick is because you are really sick. And you don't want the doctor to gaslight you. No, that is an inappropriate moment. When you're with your friends, just talking, shooting the breeze, and you go up to them and just do something, I don't want to say out of pocket, but just make a joke or something like that and gaslight them a little bit, okay, fine. You're teasing. They're teasing you right back. That's an appropriate moment. When it comes to politics and gaslighting one another and just being like, well, this side doesn't want to do it because of this, and then the other side is, well, they don't care about you because of this, and it's just like, man, there is a moment in time and place where you're trying to get people on your side because you're gaslighting, and each side does this, and it's annoying. So if we could stop that, that'd be great. And obviously nobody's listening to me and being like, you know what, Seth is right. And by nobody, I mean the people in Washington. They're not listening to me. And, is it actually going to help? I don't know. But I just want to get that off my chest because I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. And I've seen both sides do it. And I'm just like, there's a time and a place to do that. This is neither the time nor the place because people have bills to pay and also families that depend on them. And, everyone always says they're doing it for the best of the people. And you're just like, well, right now you're not doing anything. So, I don't know. And both sides are at fault, by the way. Both. All right, let's get into fun, interesting things now. Not the total, religiosity of politics. So Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber, there have been so many things. And by the way, how to transition out of that, not good at all. There's no good way to transition out of that because you're just like, oh my goodness, going from a serious topic to jovial and oh my goodness, what am I going to... Anyway, so Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber, for the longest of long times, people have been like, you know what? They don't like each other. And there's been story after story after story about Hailey being jealous of Selena not liking Hailey because she's with Justin and X, Y, and Z kind of deal. And apparently, all of that is bupkis. All of it, bupkis. And so it started with Hailey, I think this was on Friday. Hailey did an interview. And she's like, I have never had ill will towards Selena Gomez. Zero. I have never, of all the things that people have said in the media, none of those things are true. And she even says, do I like her? It's like, it's not that I don't like her. They don't have a relationship like that. But it's just like, I don't hate her. There's no ill will that we share. And then Selena says this weekend that we are all allowed to be in this space. There's no hate between us. And I feel like because the media was just like, oh, Hailey doesn't like Selena doesn't like Hailey, then they kind of like, they heard it so much that they're just like, maybe she doesn't like me, or maybe that whole situation isn't as good as what I thought it was. And then that brings a division. Now, I don't know. Like most people, all right? When you're dating or married to somebody new, your ex doesn't always, but may not know this new person. All right? If they did, then that kind of brings a little interesting moment into your life. But you tend, and especially, oh my goodness, if you, I just thought of a scenario like if you like cheated on your ex with their best friend. That's a situation where it's not good, where, yeah, okay, you can see hurt feelings. You can understand that. That's totally makes sense because then that means both y'all are scumbags and or, probably the other person who, was the one getting cheated on. They probably did something wrong. There's a lot of scenarios here. Nobody may be perfect, but in that situation, scumbags. Anyway, in this situation, I don't think that's the case because Selena and Justin broke up and then Justin was with Hailey. But it's like, it's so interesting to me the way that we live in a society where communication is so big and so important, and yet we don't use it. We don't use it at all most times. And we're just like, I wonder how many times Selena and Hailey had to like convince one another, like, hey, I don't hate you. I don't dislike you. We're not best friends. We don't have to be best friends. I'm married to your ex. Or in Selena's case, it's like you're married to my ex. We don't have to be friends. But I'm not going to be outright dickish to you. That doesn't seem, that far-fetched of a thing to do. It seems like the normal human being thing to do is to be like, listen, I know people are talking all kinds of mess, but I don't hate you. And that's the one thing that it makes sense to do that not everybody does. Because as we said previously, gaslighting happens and you just assume everyone is not telling the truth. Or you were so traumatized because of your past relationships that you're just like, you know what, this person is lying to me. I can't believe a word that they say. And it may be your best friend that is happening to you too. And you're just like, I don't believe anything you say. And you also are just like, I wonder what they're saying behind my back. It's like, but we don't know. And so this is why, for me, I always try and take people at their word and at their honest truths. Now, that may not be 100% possible in every situation, but if a friend comes up to me, it's like, hey man, good to see you, I'm going to believe them. I'm not going to think that that's some kind of crazy story of them, just talking bad about me. And then I'm just like, oh, so now you're going to come up to me and say hi? Like, no. Like, if you're at a house party and your friend doesn't come up to you right away, that doesn't mean they hate you. Like, most times a friend will see me and be like, one second, I'll be right there. Or they won't do anything and then be like, yo, Seth, what's up? And you're like, I'm not going to be like, oh, so now you're going to, no. They may have seen somebody and they see me a lot. Or maybe not a lot, but enough. Or we texted the other day. We're all caught up. Maybe they hadn't seen this person. Or in a relationship, right? If you tell somebody, oh man, you are looking good, that's the honest truth. Like, you should be able to believe people around you and trust that they're not gaslighting you and putting you in a bad situation. And if you do feel that way, talk to that person. Be like, hey, I'm kind of feeling this kind of way where I feel like you're mad at me. Like, are you mad at me? I know this may sound silly. I'm just in my head about it. It'd be so dope if you could like tell me, are we good? And that's all you need. Sometimes we need that validation. Sometimes we need to be like, you know what? This may sound so dang petty. This may sound so bad, but are we good? And yes, as soon as you say it to that person, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, I'm such an idiot. But it takes that sometimes. It takes that trust. Now, I don't know if Hailey and Selena, they did that, or they just knew that, like, this is so silly. They probably did know. And they're just like, it's just the media being the media. Or, they had those conversations. I don't know. But I hope they had those conversations. And obviously, because of this, then we're just like, oh, okay, here we go. All right, that's fine. We're just going to put that aside because we know as bubkiss. But yeah, I don't know. I think it is so dang interesting to me when I'm talking to somebody and they're like, oh yeah, this person, they don't like me. I'm like, did you ask them? They're like, no. Oh my goodness, I could never do. No, I couldn't do that. Why not? It's like, I get it. Not everyone's like me and a social butterfly and wants to talk to everybody possible. But still, I feel like if you feel hurt or betrayed or you feel like somebody doesn't like you, I think it's perfectly okay to be like, yo, what's your problem? What are we doing here? Do we have to step outside real quick? Do I have to take my shoes off for this fight? Or are we going to just talk about this? It is so simple. And I think it's really funny. The amount of progression we've had as a human race with technology, with the ideas of, treating people equally and equitably in a way that, allows them to be the person that they want to be. And yet, we are still stuck on one major thing, and that's being able to communicate to one another about our feelings and and stuff like that. And I don't like to be vulnerable. Best believe that is my least favorite feeling, is for somebody to, get so close to me and then I'm able to feel vulnerable with them. I don't like that feeling. But if I feel like somebody is, mad at me or whatever, I'm going to be like, we good? Most times they're like, yeah, I'm just having a day. Just working a lot. Or I'm with my family. I'm with, whatever. With my new boo. So, yeah, I mean, sometimes we just got to get out of our own head. And if we need that validation, maybe just be like, yo, we good? And then we'll see how silly it is. Because I can't tell you how many times I've done that where I'm just like, I am such a damn idiot. Like, why? Why am I doing this? Oh, yeah, because I had those feelings and emotions. Yep, that's great. All right. Yeah, now I feel like a moron. And then that person is like, yeah, are we good? I was like, yeah. Just, I was in my head for a second. And, yeah, I don't know. It is, just talk to each other. The only thing I will say, though, about talking and seeing things and being like, are we good kind of deal, is if, that's a bad transition. What I will say that is absolutely annoying, though, is seeing something that you want or you want to try and then seeing the price tag of it. Like 50 Cent, he just dropped his new like cognac, and it's like a luxury cognac. It's $25,000 a bottle. $25,000 for a bottle of booze that may or may not last you a week. I guarantee you, because of that size of that bottle, it would probably last, I don't know, like a true professional drinker, maybe a couple days. But it would just be $25,000. Most times when people spend that kind of money, it's only for a special occasion. So what is that bottle going to do when you buy it? It's just going to be sitting there. Just going to be sitting there. Be like, lee-dee-doo-dee-doo-dee-doo. Just sitting here. I'm like Elf on a Shelf. But I don't cost 5 cents. I cost $25,000. Just gonna chill here. Just gonna hang out, have some fun. Look at you having Thanksgiving. Is it a special occasion yet? Nope. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna sit over here then. Just being my little cognac self. Just gonna hang out, have some fun. Can't shoot b-ball because if I shoot b-ball outside of school with a couple of guys, well, ball's gonna bounce on my head and I'm gonna break, and then all the cognac goes on the ground. And ain't nobody got time for that. Then you won't have me when you need me. It's just like $25,000. And I like nice things. Don't get me wrong. I really do. But this is an example of why I can't have nice things. It's too damn expensive. And it's just like, golly. This is not okay. Like, I want nice things. I really do. I want nice clothes. I want to have like nice couches, a nice bed, nice just stuff, clothes, everything. I want to have all that niceness. I want to be that rich and powerful dude and be like, yeah, you see me? Yeah. And does that mean I'm a horrible person? Maybe. I accept that. I take that on the chin and be like, yes, I am a shallow, vain human being. I know this. You don't have to tell me twice. I'm right here. I know me. But whenever I see like $25,000 and then I look at my bank account and there's not $25,000 in that bank account, I'm just like, oh, there's levels to this. There's moments where you're just like humbled when you see like 50 Cent being like, hey, I'm going to be like, here's a $25 cognac bottle. And I'm over here being like, okay, so I can get a Corona and I can get a Surfside and I can be good for the night, even though that's, if you know me as a person, the drink, it's not just going to be 2. But I'd go over like, okay, I can spend $60 here tonight and I'll be good. That's my bar tab. And then 60 turns to 70. plus tip. And I'm like, yeah, all right, I feel good. I feel great. $25,000 a bottle. A bottle. Oh, God dang, man. Humbling experiences, I tell you what. Humbling. And I'm just like, God dang, man. I just want to be rich. But no, not yet. I will get there, though. I believe in me. I do. Maybe someday. I don't know. We'll find out. All right. There we go. We're back. Now, in all transparency, I had to... This podcast has gone off the rails a little bit. All right. Had to use the bathroom. You'd think in 20 minutes of me doing a podcast that I could hold my stuff in, but no, nature was calling and I had to go. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry I had to, actually you may not have noticed at all because, I'm going to leave out a portion of this and just be like, cut it out. No, nobody needs to know. But yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, nature was calling. All right. Had to go. And then apparently because I was gone so long, somebody turned off the lights in my studio and I'm just like, what are you doing? In my time, my area. Don't be turning off my lights. Rude. Nature had to do its thing. And you're just like, oh, let me just turn off the lights. That's fine. All right, cool. Whatever. Jerk. Don't even know who it was. Thought I was the only one in the, I thought I was the only one here. But no. Cool. That's fine. That's great. Thanks for turning off my light. Anyway. Speaking of nature, this has nothing to do with nature, not one bit. And as you hear my phone, this zero to do with nature, and I have no idea how to feel about this, other than somewhat disgusted. Somewhat. So Kim Kardashian, her company Skims, came out with a brand new thong underwear, which most times you hear that, you're like, oh my goodness, I got an idea for sexy time. Now here's the deal. This one, this is a very particular kink. If you're thinking of this for sexy time, I don't know if this is going to be mainly for strippers here in New York. I don't know if this is mainly going to be for strippers in general. They're just like, what would be funny? If I just whip this out and be like, bada bing, bada boom. Here it is. How you doing? I don't know. But let me paint you the picture here. Skims came out with this brand new underwear, and it's not necessarily a design per se, but the underwear has fake human hair. It's called the Ultimate Bush, and it is essentially just different variations of somebody in their nether regions being hairy. Now, I don't know if Kim is trying to make us into Austin Powers, all of us, and just being a hairy mofo, which I'm already hairy, all right? I don't need the help with the other stuff, okay? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I don't need that kind of help, all right? I got the hair. But the fact that this has come out and been such a huge thing, like if I would have done this, I would have been ostracized by humanity. If I would have come up with this idea, it would have been like, oh my gosh, Seth, what are you doing? This is so weird. Like, no, you're going to be put in the corner. All right, go in the corner, Seth. Get out of here. This is not okay. And yet Kim Kardashian comes out and, it's like, oh, this is sexy. It's sexy now. Look at you, Kim. And here's the thing about it. It's already sold out. And not just like one version, which, by the way, there's more than one version. There's a short, there's a longer one with straight hair, and there's one that is curly. I'm just like, no, what are we doing? No. Why is this a thing? Like if you have the kink, right? If you have a certain kink where this is sexy, more power to you. And in Kim's case, hey, people are going to buy it. More power to you. If you know people are going to buy this, obviously she did because it's all sold out. Then more power to you. But my question is, with the people who are buying this, Like, can't you grow it yourself? Can't you just be like, you know what? I'm not going to shave. I'm not going to get a wax for like 6 weeks, and then we're going to see how this thing goes. No, you don't want to do that? All right. That, just makes me go in a moment of, oh, humans, how far we've grown. But we are still right there, right next to that loincloth. We are just one step away from going right back to being cave people. We're almost there. We are. And yet, we just can't get away from that loincloth, man. Because that is the only thing. When I've seen pictures of this, the first thing that popped in my head was, and loincloth. Like, we are one step away from George of the Jungle being like, oh, and you're just like, what? What? I'm very impressed I actually did that. Like, a round of applause to me. That is great. But it's just like, God, it is so bonkers to me and gross and disgusting. Because also for the longest time, people were like, hey, you got to be clean down there. You know, I have been asked so many times when I have like my shirt open, they're like, do you just want to go ahead and shave that? I'm like, no, this is my hair. I'm very proud of my hair. And now somebody comes out with a loincloth and with hair going everywhere. And people are like, you know what? That's sexy. All right, let's do that. You know, let's do it. We like it. Yes, this is what we want. I'm just like, God dang, man. God dang. Oh no. I think it'd be hilarious though if somebody at a strip club would just be like, incoming to the stage, we have Melody. And then all of a sudden Melody comes out and you're like, oh my goodness, she's all sexy. And then she's like wearing a robe. And then all of a sudden, bam, takes off the robe. And all you see is just like hairs going, hello down there. I know where you're looking. Ooh. And it's just like, God dang it. Oh. And if you would have seen that visual, you would have been like, oh my goodness. Oh, I'm not going to explain the visual because I'm not going to do that to you. No. But you can imagine with the voice and the thing. But, I don't know, man. It's just, we live in strange times. I mean, we would think that this would be the strangest thing. And it is. Honestly, actually, it is the strangest thing of the week. 100%. I mean, it's even like taken over in a certain kind of way because now Kim Kardashian is like seeing all these fake ones. And she's like, no, we're not standing for that. We're going to sue. And so she's doing that because people are making fakes of her faux hair thongs. Oh, man. And you'd think, like, the strangest thing would be the idea of ChatGPT, like, teaming up with Walmart to, like, you can essentially, like, order things from ChatGPT for Walmart. Like, if you wanted something from Walmart, you can order it from ChatGPT, and it's going to be sent to you. Like, that's going to happen. And we'd think, oh, my goodness, AI overloads. But no, the main conversation is a hairy thong. Can't we see the humor? Can't we see the weird idiosyncrasies of people here? Just the wild nature. I mean, just imagine this podcast alone. There's a very serious conversation. Start of it. We talked about the government shutdown. That's a very serious conversation about gaslighting and everything like that. Then we went to communication and how we talk to people with Hailey and Selena as the catalyst. And now we're talking about faux human hair bush called the ultimate bush underwear. If that doesn't tell you the human experience, I don't know what does. I don't know what does. No idea. We humans are weird. I think we got to accept that. I think we need more acceptance of that because I think we realize how weird and odd we can be. But we need to accept it. Also, I really want to meet somebody who bought that underwear because I want to meet that person and ask why. If they just bought it because they thought it would be hilarious, I'm like, yes, you are my kind of person. And they bought it because they're like, oh my goodness, it's cute. Why wouldn't I buy it? That's the person I want to talk to right there. And I want to be like, why? Why do you think it's cute? Huh? Why? Why? So, yeah. That's the Seth Justice Show. I think that's enough. Yep. I'm tapping out. Tapping out. Tap, tap, tap. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, everything, all that fun stuff. I want to grow and build and, see where this thing takes us. So why don't you go ahead, like, subscribe, follow my Instagram and TikTok at @justice_radio. Those are the two main ones. There's other ones, but those two I do the most on. So yeah, go check that out. And then also make sure if you're not on YouTube, go check it out. My podcast here on Spotify, The Seth Justice Show. You can find that on YouTube and Spotify, The Seth Justice Show. Or if you're on Spotify right now, go to YouTube. All right, check that out. Give me the views. Okay? Or not. Or you could just sit around and not do that. I don't know. I don't care. Anyway, I'm done. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll talk later. All right? Peace. Bye-bye.